Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Two Player Co-op Podcast. This would be episode 361. We're back. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Good. I almost had a brain fart. I had a brain fart, but I recovered. Could you tell I brain farted?
Could you have a brain shart?
I think that's worse. Yeah, obviously it's worse than a brain fart. That was what we saw at the presidential debate, I would say.
True.
If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you really like us, you can always go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where we got a lot of different benefits for you people. Our most popular tier is the producer tier at $5. You get the podcast live one day early if you miss us, record it live, as we are doing right now. And you also get a bonus episode every month, which we're going to record right after this. James kind of got a little preview for that when we were doing the stream at the beginning, but it's really with no context, so it doesn't mean anything. Didn't I sound weird there?
Yes.
Some of our patrons deserve a shout out, just like our patron saint, the man with a bar named after him, Mr. John Tingley. Also, our affiliates, Derek Bamford, James Solar. Make sure you check out James Games and more on YouTube. And Mom. Also, our producers, I said also twice, as well as our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, Dustin Downs, and Chris Peralta. Make sure you check out PS Rewind on YouTube as well. Wow. So if you hear screaming in the background, my kids are having a sleepover. We're not professionals. We're doing the best we can here. If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop.
Or just spring.com.
We think. Yeah, I was going to say, we think it works. We don't really know. Sean.
Yes, sir.
We have not gotten together in a while.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any banter that is witty? Or shall I go with my witty? It might not be witty, but my bantering.
I mean, yeah, I think yours is going to be better. We did a short family trip.
Oh, yeah.
Long weekend. Went to Great Wolf Lodge down in Atlanta. Have you or have you not been there?
Yes.
I mean, not Atlanta, but
Outside.
It's actually further from
called
Atlanta
the
than
Atlanta
I thought.
one.
It's like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we were probably an hour away from Atlanta.
Yes.
It was fun. There's too many people. I think we need another plague.
I keep wanting to say that when I'm mad at people, but I'm like, what the hell is it from? I'm not going to say it if I can't remember what it's from.
Dwight
it is?
says it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I don't remember what the context. He's like
walking around
Yeah.
with Jim, I think. We need another plague. Thank God. Okay. Steve Appleton, what's up, dude?
Yo.
Wow. Yo.
It was fun. When you get there right when they open, which is easy to do when you're staying there, you get right in, you can go down the slide, down the slide, whatever. But then we have to leave around lunchtime to go put Maddie down. Well, to go get lunch and put Maddie down and whatever. So we come back when Maddie's napping, and it's just
chaos.
Yeah, it's just insane. But yeah, it was fun.
Did you do the slide where you sit there and then it just disappears and you go, ah!
Brittany did.
You didn't do it?
So I didn't, but I've done.
Too tall?
No, I've done one. I did this basically the same thing on our last cruise.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't need to do it again. It was fun, but I feel like, all those slides are made of pieces that like.
This is what I was going to ask.
And when I go down, it's like,
yes.
it hurt. And I'm like, I don't really need to do that again. So I assume that's how this one was. There's one of those slides, and then there was just a normal enclosed water slide. So we were going to go down that one. Then we got up there and it was closed because I don't know if they always do this. I don't know if it's just part of their safety, whatever, protocols. They said that a lifeguard got hurt on it that morning. So I don't know if first thing they do is test all the slides and be like, all right, we're good. And something happened when the lifeguard went down that one. Well, no, not that, like the normal slide.
Oh, okay.
So we got all the way up there and the normal slide was closed. We're like, I'm not doing this other one. Kira certainly wasn't going to.
No.
So Brittany said she would do it. I'm like, that's fine. So I went with Kira down another slide. She said it wasn't that bad. She didn't have any of the. It was fine. The one thing, it was one of the times we had come back in the afternoon. I don't know where Brittany was. I think that may have been when she was waiting for Maddie to fall asleep. And so Kira and I went ahead and went down. We were in line. There was these 3 or 4 kids. I would guess 12 to 13-ish. Just being little jackasses. And there's these people in front of them, and we were behind them. And they kept, like, he would just be like,
to who?
Just, I believe random people. I'm like, I don't know. Is this one of their dads? Like, do they know these people? Like, grown-ups. And then they started, I'm like, that's weird. But they were never really talking to them. And one of the kids that was with him was trying to kind of be like the voice of reason. He's like, I'm sorry. They're idiots, whatever. And then they started doing it to somebody else. I'm like, I don't think they know these people. And I'm just waiting. I don't care if they do it to me. But I'm like, if you even touch my daughter, even just goofing around, we're going to have a problem. And it never happened, but I'm just like, well, I hate kids. I hate kids that aren't mine.
First off, yes. B, did I ever tell you my story? I think I probably told you when I was at the beach and there was this dipshit teenage kid going around.
I may have been there with you.
Or maybe, was that when
I can't remember if I was there or I just remember the story, but
he was just grabbing seaweed, running up behind people and just dropping it on their head.
Yeah.
And I saw him do it twice, and then he came over to do it to this lady that was like in front of us, and I got up and I was like, what the do you think you're doing? You stupid little shit. Like, I went off on him. Parents came back and yelled at me, I think, or something. I didn't get in a fight, but the people around me were like clapping and stuff. I was like, you're damn right. I didn't do it for that, but like, somebody's going to stand. These little shits just think they can do whatever they want.
Well, and I'm just, in my head, I'm like playing like hypothetical scenarios. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what if they just like kick Kira? Not in a way that would hurt her, but like just to mess around with her. It wouldn't even bother her. She'd probably think it was hilarious, but I was just not in any kind of mood. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to do anything, but I would say, if you do that again, I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what if they do? I can't not do anything.
But you also
I also
punch
can't
a kid.
exactly
Go to jail.
I'm like, I don't know what I would actually do.
Yeah,
I know what
true.
I would want to do, but I think cooler heads would prevail, and I'd end up just probably doing nothing. But
I would, at the least, I would go over to security and be like, "Hey, can you please go give these little shits a scare?"
Well, and we were close enough to the slide.
Okay.
That I could have at least told the person who was running the slide.
Yeah,
like,
the one at the bottom. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, the other thing I was going to say, when we went to Six Flags last year, St. Louis, so they've got regular Six Flags, and then next door they've got Six Flags Water Edition. I don't know. But it's a water park. I ended up, there was one slide, at least one, that was super fun, and I stopped going down it. And the lines weren't that bad. It was so much fun. There's one I stopped going down because it was one of those, and it was like, even if, like, what I would try to do is like arch my back as much as I could to get as much of my back off.
Yeah.
But then it just like makes my shoulders hurt even more. And I get down there and I'm like, Jez, will you look at my back? And she was like, oh yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm not bleeding, but it's like, it looked like Seamus, you know, whenever he gets hit. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I definitely, like, we would probably go back, but like, I don't know. It doesn't need to be an every year thing, I don't think. Next year, we're talking about doing a cruise. Like, we're going to do the beach every year. Next year, we're talking about maybe doing a cruise. So I'm like, we probably won't do a third. Not that this is a big trip, but we probably won't do a third trip. But, like, yeah. I would go back, but, like, feels like more of an every other year kind of thing.
I think we've been there.
And it's it's not a bad drive.
Yeah, it's like 5 hours, 5.5 hours.
5.5. But, like, I definitely see the appeal of like indoor water park. We didn't even bring sunscreen. I'm like, this is so nice. What
was the temperature of the water?
It varied.
I remembered it being kind of iffy.
There were some that were, I would guess, which is weird because if a pool here was this temperature, I wouldn't go in.
No chance.
But I would guess some of them were maybe as low as, and I'm such a wuss, 80-ish, where it's like, it's not cold, but it's, when you first get in, it's like, woo, okay. It wasn't like bath water.
It's very refreshing.
But like in the kid area where it was like shallow, that was probably like 90-ish.
Yeah.
Probably mostly urine.
Mm-hmm. That'll warm it up.
So, yeah, I mean, it was warm. It was fine. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing because, yeah, if your pool or dad's pool was like
There's no way
80,
in hell.
it could be that same exact temperature. Whatever that temperature was, I wouldn't get in.
I would.
But there, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I don't know.
It's just different.
Maybe because there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
If I get in this pool, what am I? I'm just swimming. I'm just floating.
Well,
at least that it's like slides and like
and
stuff.
also it's one of the things about those places too is that not just that you're doing stuff, but because it's inside, it is warm, but it's also like so effing humid that it's like it just
right.
Everything is the same temperature kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
I went on a trip. I had a pony.
I had the pony.
I took the longest vacation I think I've ever taken, definitely since I was in my current job. I think the longest vacation I've ever taken. Week and a half I was off from work and we went to New York City.
This stuff's made in New York City.
Were we talking about this commercial not long ago for some reason?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So yeah, we went to New York because if those of you that don't know, we're both from upstate New York, and when we say upstate, we mean up north in the state, northern New York, really. Some people think upstate is just
not New
everything.
York City.
Yeah, Albany, Binghamton, like what are we talking about here? Anyway, so we were going to go up there and stay at a cottage on Lake Ontario. Jess made fun of me because she asked the boys, like we were just like driving to, and we flew out of Nashville instead of Memphis because we did Allegiant nonstop, so cheap. It was like less than $1,000 for 6 of us to fly round trip. No stops. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Our car rental for the week in New York was more than half. It was like $600 or something. What was I saying? Shoot.
Jess was making fun of you.
Jess was making, yeah. So she was just asking the kids random things that, like, what did they know about New York and everything? And then they're like, she's like, "Do you guys know what lake we're staying on?" I don't know. It's one of the. I know it's a Great Lake, and I go, Erie. It's Lake Erie, and she looks at me and she goes, "What?" I'm like, "Oh crap, is it not?" She's like, "What is wrong with you? We grew up there." I'm like, "I know, and I can never remember if it's Erie or Ontario." She said it's Ontario. I'm like, "Well, literally everybody I've told, I've been saying we're going to a cottage on Lake Erie."
I mean, Lake Erie is also
It touches New York.
Yeah, but that's down like Rochester, Buffalo.
Yeah,
that's
Western New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm stupid, but Jess thought it was.
I mean, it's still a New York lake, so nobody would have any reason to doubt what you said. So
right.
Like, oh, cool.
They don't know. I meant Sackett's Harbor on Lake Ontario. Idiot. But yeah, so we went from Nashville to Syracuse, rented a van. We actually, this was funny. I've never had this happen before. I've rented cars, I don't even know, 15 times in my life or something, probably more. I don't know. I've never had this happen. We get there. First off, it's the exact same van that we have, which Jess requested, which was nice. Because I just feel, and that's what we had in LA too. It's just, I'm driving in a place I hate. I'm more comfortable now. Except, this was a 2024. Not only was this a 2024, it had 8 miles on it. It was literally brand new. So I don't know if they ran out of cars and they were like, shit, we got these people
that seems weird
in.
to have a...
Yeah. We were literally the first ones to drive it. The seatbelt buckle things still had like the styrofoam around them. Like
new car smell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, until my nasty kids got in there. That lasted for about a day. But yeah, so we went from Syracuse to New York City. We were there only for 72 hours, 3 full days. We didn't stop. Like, so the first day we got
City
there.
Never sleeps.
Yeah. Better slip you an Ambien. We got there like 6 p.m. driving Holy crap. We were waiting.
So Syracuse to New York is probably, 4 hours or something?
4.5 or something, yeah. It wasn't that bad, but it probably could have been 3.5 if no one was on the roads in New York City. New York City.
Yeah.
We got to where we're trying to get into the Lincoln Tunnel. And I go, hey, Noah, you want to drive? And he's like, oh, my God. He knew I was joking, but he's like, I don't know how you do this. There's like 4 lanes merging into 2. And there's just cars like this. And everybody is like within inches. I'm like, this is a rental, and I didn't get the extra insurance. And I always forget how the insurance works on these things. It was fine, but, man, it was stressful. So we did, the first night we were there, we just got to the hotel. We were exhausted because we had to wake up early in Nashville because it was an 8 a.m. flight, and we had to get a shuttle to the airport and then leave time to check the bags and go through security, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So we were tired and get to the hotel, park. I said, I'm not driving this thing again until we leave. And that's what I did. And everybody kind of wanted to just relax, but Jess was like, we don't want to waste a night. Let's just go.
What time did you get there?
6.
Okay.
So it's like, let's go get dinner. That'll perk everybody up. And then we can go, let's go to Times Square. Because we were just, I don't know,
where,
7, 8
not that I
blocks
know
away.
all the neighborhoods, but
Yeah.
like where in New York were you staying?
Manhattan. So we were at 34th and 8th. We were 2 blocks away from MSG.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which was really cool. I took a picture of it from like the corner of our street, but our street. So we went to Times Square. The kids were like, holy crap, this is nuts. I'm like, yeah, I forgot how nuts this is too, you know? But we just kind of walked around and took it easy. And then the next day we got up, got breakfast. Holy crap, I hate the subway. I know it's better than driving.
It's just so confusing.
I'm like, I'm supposed to buy a card.
That's like the worst part. I'm like,
navigating it, I was okay, except one time I had us go the wrong way, and we didn't figure it out for 2 stops. I was like, okay, we need to get up and go. I thought we were going downtown. We're actually going uptown. I screwed up. I was like, do you buy a card? Well,
so
no,
confusing.
you can just use your phone. Go bing.
Oh, that's
bing.
new.
So you can do the bing thing, and the only thing though is it said, all of a sudden I'm like binging all 6 of us through, and it was fine. The second time we get on the subway though, I get through like 3, and then it's like, you've had too many swipes. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? You're just gonna, my kids are in there. Are you expecting me to just jump over this thing? But so luckily it wasn't our bank account. So Jess just got her phone and binged it.
so
3
do you
times,
even
and we were
like,
okay.
you're just like Apple paying it, or
Yeah.
you have to like,
Apple Pay.
okay, so you don't even have like an app that's
No.
like tied to it.
You just go
It's
down there and go click, click, boom. But you're supposed to
Like
have,
saliva?
huh? Click,
Saliva?
click, boom. I did do that, didn't I? No, but I went click, boom, boom, I think. Anyways, it's supposed to be a maximum of like $37 you can charge. But we definitely charged more than that. Whatever, it didn't matter. You could also buy cards though, but I was like, okay, let's buy unlimited cards. Because I thought it said it was like $9 for a day.
You can do like a day pass, yeah.
But then the only options were like $37 or $48. I was like, what is happening here? So that's why we just went with the Bing thing. But we saw Central Park. That was awesome. We got a lot of Starbucks. We had a lot of caffeine. I knew that was gonna happen. The second night, Jess, Eliza, Nick, and Casey all went to see Wicked on Broadway, which was awesome. I stayed in the hotel with Noah, and we just kind of sat there on our phones, just like my feet are so sore, and like we just hung out. And I'm forgetting other stuff that we went to one of the museums there.
Oh, you went to Natural History. 'Cause I saw the whale.
Yes, the giant
Yeah.
whale. Was that the thing that I'm like, I know blue whales are big, but holy crap, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So we did that, walked around a bunch, of course. And then we did that at night. And then Friday we did Statue of Liberty. We did the Yankee game at night. I got to see Judge hit a homer, and I actually got it on video, which was awesome. James says, when we were in New York City, I really liked that Apple Maps was super helpful navigating the subway. I use Google, but yeah, it's so good that you're just like, that's why the only problems I had was with buying the tickets, because it was like, okay, go in the entrance at this corner, then look for the signs for Uptown / Bronx, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get on the E train, not the C train. You're going to get on the E. You're going to go 2 stops, get off, transfer to the 4, then take the 4 5 stops and whatever. I'm making stuff up now, but that's what it did. It was so good, but it was stressful because we got when we were leaving the Yankee game, because you know how you can do the battery health and stuff. This thing's almost 2 years old now. My battery, I think it's now under 80%. I think it's like 79%. So I've got this on low power mode the whole day, like barely any brightness, so you can barely even see it because I'm taking pictures and navigating and stuff. I was down to 1% before the game was over, and I was like, maybe we should leave. Jess was like, I didn't pay this much money for these freaking tickets so we could leave early. I'm like, okay, fine. Also, there was a freaking heat wave there. It was 95 degrees every day. It was horrible. So then I had the thought, okay, wait, these are the directions. Screenshot, it was 100% accurate for us, step-by-step directions for morons. Exactly. So I screenshotted it and I texted it to myself in case my phone died, because I was like, I think you can look at pictures on a watch, right? So I texted it to myself. I'm like, boom, click. Okay. Yeah, I could see it at least enough if all our... But, I mean, Nick and Noah had their phones too. We probably didn't need it. But, yeah, we did the Statue of Liberty. We didn't go up into the crown, but we went up onto the pedestal. Liberty Bibbidi. We went to the top of 30 Rock. We did a picture thing where, you know, the picture of the dudes on the beam.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't even know how that's real. They kind of recreate that. You're on a beam that it spins around and stuff, you know, at the top 30 Rock. So we did that.
So was that real? I mean, I know you weren't literally on a beam above the city, but like that wasn't green screen?
No, that was.
I was gonna say it looked real. I'm like, clearly it's a green screen, but looks pretty good.
So it was on top of 30 Rock. I didn't even look at it. Could you see the bar? Because basically it was a real beam with a bar in the middle that spun us around. Like one beam connected to another beam that made a T, and it spun you. You just spun around one time, and yeah. So we did that. We did everything, and then we spent.
We did the World Trade Center.
We did the World Trade Center Museum. First off, it was as brutal as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Casey and Eliza can't really... They know
can't even understand it.
Yeah. They know something bad happened, but that's it. Nick and Noah kind of got it, but also they're teenagers. And we did, like, we bought the... Like, you can either just walk around, do your own thing, or you can buy the audio tour where they give you, like, an iPhone 7, just preloaded with everything, and you click when you get to a certain point, and Robert De Niro talks for, like, 2 minutes about it. It was pretty cool. But Nick and Noah were like, okay. We're at the first exhibit, like showing where the planes took off from, what the flight path was, and then a dotted line for when they were taken over, and then what that flight path turned into, and all this, blah, blah, blah. We're looking at this for a while and listening to the thing and like really taking it in. And all of a sudden we're like, where are Nick and Noah? They have gone up like 3 other things ahead of us. And I'm like, guys, this is not speed run. Please don't try to just get through this so you could play on your phones. But it was really good. It was really emotional, of course. Yeah, and then we spent a week basically in upstate New York on the cottage on Lake Ontario. We got to go see my childhood home, which was cool. It was
so I never saw... I don't know if you ever answered Dad's question. Did you just like knock on the door and do the whole like we used to live here?
I answered it, but you might not have seen it. But yeah, so I knocked on the door. Nick and Noah were like, I am not getting out of this car with you. Good luck. Jess was like, I think I'll stay in here too. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get shot.
Right.
So I walk up to the door. Again, this is our childhood home. We grew up. Each of us spent 21 years there. And I'm walking up to the door, and this is like just so nostalgic and everything.
Yeah, that's so a weird feeling.
But it's also weird because the front is so much different than when I lived there, because he had it on the little porch and he extended the living room and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, I walk up, and as I'm getting closer to the door, I'm like, oh my God, somebody is home. This is awesome, because it's just the storm door and the front door is wide open. So I'm like, ding dong, old school, no ring doorbell or anything, and I'm waiting. I wait for like 3 minutes, and I look back at the car, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, shut up, it's fine. And I'm like, well, this is weird. And then I ring it again, and then their little pug dog or something comes up, and he's like, wah, 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 wah. Okay, hi. You're very scary. And then I look toward our garage, and
it's not our garage anymore.
It's yeah, I know. Dad built it. Literally, it's our garage. You can see through the window in the door there's a car in there, and the front, it wouldn't really matter if there was a car there. I mean, they left their front door open. I guess that's how we got robbed that one time. But anyways, somebody's home. They just don't want to come to the door. At that point, after two doorbells and a barking dog, I'm like, okay, it's just not meant to be. So I walk back up. I tell Jess what the situation is. And the Carson's house, remember, next to us, they're getting like a 2-story separate garage added on. It's not them anymore. They died forever. I mean, they were old as dirt. And there's a guy over there, and Jess is like, well, do you want to see, like, if he knows, like, if he could do something? I was like, I don't know. I think he just works here. And then he comes over, and he's coming over, and he's coming over. I'm like, well, all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm like, hey, I grew up here, and, I did the whole spiel. Guy was super nice. He was probably in his, like, late 50s or something. Gordon. He had the New York accent, he had the Minnesota, the upstate New York accent.
Yeah.
And so we talked for a while. I told him, like, this is crazy. Like, the whole left side, first they've got a fence around the whole backyard, and the whole side of the fence that's on the Carson
Wait, so you're
side,
talking to the neighbor now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know what he was.
Well, but he was at the neighbor's house.
Yeah, so he's the boyfriend of the neighbor. He gave us basically his whole life story. His wife died. Her husband died. They met. They're engaged, and he lives on South Hamilton Street. Now he's going to move over to this house with her. He also kept saying, I picked up on it. I couldn't tell if Jess picked up on it, but I was like, I can't look at her just in case. Like, we were there for probably a half hour, and this guy talked for like 29 of those minutes. Like, he wouldn't shut up. But he would be like, yeah, so, we're putting on the garage, and then, we're doing we had to move the sewer pipe because the sewer pipe was over there, and we had to move it over here, and, so on and so forth. And he would say so on and so forth at the end of almost like every other sentence. And after I saw Jess walk away, get Nick and Noah and bring him over, like, come on, listen to what this guy's talking about. And I'm still sitting there talking to him. And then finally we end up walking back. He takes us down there. First off, the other thing that was weird, because the other time I've gone back to there, when I went there like 5-6 years ago when we went to Geneseo and stuff, I just took a picture I just pulled in the driveway, took a picture, and left because I didn't want to deal with anything. But the thing that stuck out to me this time was, again, it's been forever since I've actually been in the house or in the backyard, using the backyard and everything. That hill in the backyard going down to the river, way smaller than I remember it. It's so weird. The big rock, smaller than I remember.
I wonder if, I don't know where it would have gone, but like, was the big rock there and the one big tree, like our fort was still there?
Yep. It's a lot of it was overgrown and stuff. So you can almost barely even see the big rock, but yeah, it was
the creek still just the creek.
Creek was still the creek. You could see the cold water springs. You could see them still bubbling up and stuff. I was like, it's so weird. The creek was very overgrown, at least the part up by the road. And they had torn down, how up by the road they still had so many trees and leaves and weeds and everything just overgrown. Yeah. All that got taken down. So that was weird to see. It makes sense because I think that was blocking your view if you tried to turn out of our driveway if you looked left. Yeah. So all that was torn down, but when I looked in there, I was like, man, the creek, I knew the creek had gotten skinnier after we had our issues with when our house almost floated away, because they put the retaining wall and they put so much in there that they really, shrunk it. But Play Doom 2016, I'll get there, James. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was so good. We went to all our, we ate all the things we wanted to eat. We got the we went to Drek Subs. By the way, I always call it Drex. There's just no Drek. S. It's just Drek. I don't know if that's Junior Eck or Mr. Eck Jr. I don't know what it is, but it's not Drex. The 2 logo thing was weird. The bread, but the taste of it was exactly the same. The bread was different.
Really?
And the bread is almost like the most essential part. There was something about it that, you remember, it was just so spongy and like good.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
Now it's like, it's not as spongy. It's like more airy, but it also like was flaking off and stuff. And I was like, something's weird. But because everything on the inside, I got my Italian BMT with the hot pepper relish. It was amazing. Because everything else was inside, it was still okay. But then we asked like Jess's cousins when they came over to the cottage and stuff. They're like, yeah, it has changed a little bit in the last few years. I'm like, damn it. That's horrible.
Which one did you go to?
We went to the one on Arsenal, like across from where Denny's was. Denny's is closed.
I don't think I remember Drek being there.
It's really close to where Friendly's was. It's not Friendly's anymore. I don't even know if Friendly's exists.
I was going to ask if you went down like Arsenal Street. And, like, is Taco Bell still there?
Taco Bell's still there. Jess was able
the mini golf is gone, right?
Yes, but Jess was able to find, there's a Facebook page that has one follower that was like Taco Bell, Watertown Taco Bell mini golf.
Really?
And like it opened, because I was like, I wonder when that opened. So she started Googling it.
92?
92. That's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember what the name of it was? I'm going to forget it now.
It was some kind of like a ship, like Flagship Falls.
Flagship Falls. Jess was like some kind of adventure, something. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. It was Flagship Falls. And then there was like a subtitle of like a golf adventure, something like that. So adventure was in there. It was so much fun.
Is the mall still there? Did you go to?
We didn't go in the mall, but it's still there. The sign still looks the same.
Really?
But the colors are different. Like you can tell it's like the same kind of, like the same font and the same like wiggly lines. I guess like it's a salmon river.
Yeah.
It's a river, whatever. The salmon river is a thing. Anyways, Salmon Run, by the way.
Yeah, why run?
Okay. But we didn't go in there. I saw there was a Best Buy. No Hills or Ames anymore. I
think Best Buy opened up not long before I left.
They have a Chick-fil-A on Arsenal now. I don't remember if that was
new.
I don't think that was there the last time we were there either.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know Chick-fil-A went that far north. So yeah, there's no way it was there. There's no way it was there when we were there the last time. But yeah, overall, it was a very long trip, but it was very awesome. I still, as you probably saw when you walked in, I got some more clothes to put away, some more laundry to do. Still recovering.
Did you go like down Riverbend? And
we didn't go down Riverbend because by the time we left our house, because it lasted so much longer than we thought it was going to, that was Friday night, and Friday night is the Mount Carmel feast.
Oh, yeah.
So we were going to that, but we had planned, because now Thompson Park has a splash pad, and we were going to meet Jordan and Daniel there. They took Eliza with them. Casey went with us. It was actually really sweet. He was like, originally he wanted to go with them to just go to the splash pad first and everything. But then at some point he was just like, he got in there. I was like, wait, Casey, are you going with us? He goes, yeah, I want to see your house. And I was like, oh, he's just the sweetest kid.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to meet them.
It would have been so cool. Like, I get why you left, but like, I don't think I would have done any more than you. And I don't know what I would have done if somebody did this to me and it was my current house. But like, it would be cool if it was just like the sweet old couple and they're like, do you want to come in? And you have to like go inside.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't
that would be so cool.
Exactly. I wouldn't have asked, but if they would offer.
Could you tell by looking through the storm door, did anything look like drastically different?
No, it's just it was so hard to tell. I mean, like I could look in the front door and I could see the window in the
above the kitchen sink.
Yeah, exactly. So that was still there. It's just so weird to think like you might have been there when I told Dad
were you ever inside the house since Dad did the big rework, like extending the living room? Like, have you been inside or you've only seen it from the outside?
I think I've only seen it from the outside.
Okay.
I think I've only seen pictures. Yeah, because he did that right before they moved down here, I think, didn't he?
It wasn't long.
I mean, it was a
before,
long project, but
it was over 2 summers.
Yeah, it was so cool. But that's what it was. I told Dad this. You might have been there. I can't remember. But I had a dream that this exact same thing happened, except they did say, do you want to come in? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. And I got out my phone and I turned the video on, which I probably would not have done in real life because that's super freaky.
Yeah.
But I wanted to recreate Dad's tour video.
Tour.
Yep. And I was going to be singing Winter One. I was singing I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas and everything, even though there was no snow. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Great.
I do want to go up there sometime.
Yeah. We didn't get to go to Geneseo. Oh, and then we did there. We were there Saturday to Saturday at the cottage. We had to leave the cottage Saturday. So we left the cottage, pouring down rain. Look at the radar. It's rain all across New York State. What we had planned on doing was going over to Six Flags Darien Lake because the kids love Six Flags, obviously. But it got to the point where it was coming down in sheets, and like I can drive through it, but I don't like it. No one does. But I was like, we're probably going to have a 3-hour drive of all rain. We might get there and either everything's wet, which sucks. So you're going on rides and you're just soaked because you're sitting in water. Or if there's lightning, they're going to shut the rides down. They might do it anyways, even without the lightning. I don't know. And so we decided, with the kids all finally agreed that, you know what? Yeah, we can go to another Six Flags some other time. Let's just hang out in Syracuse. So we went to the Carousel Mall, which is now Destiny USA. I always forget that.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see my uncle, who I haven't seen in a while. That was awesome. We ate dinner at their house for a couple hours.
Are they in Cortland still?
Took pictures and everything. Yep. But they're not. I was like, I don't know where he lives now, because in my mind, I just remember the house that he was there with Jane.
With the electric fence.
Yes. Standing in water, electrocuting ourselves, or shocking ourselves, not electrocuting. So that was good. And then we woke up Sunday. We went to the airport. We were kind of cutting it close for time. Not too close, but I was getting a little worried. And then the plane was delayed 15 minutes. I was like, okay, that's a sign this is all going to work out perfectly. So, yeah. Then we came back, and now I'm still trying to get in the swing of things with work and all that.
Wow.
Sean.
Yeah.
You've been playing a little game. Have you played anything else? I assume not. It's been like 3 weeks.
I was going to say, I don't think so. I'm trying to think of what I was playing before. Oh, I was just playing Elden Ring to get ready for it. Yeah, I haven't played anything.
Okay, so Shadow of the Erdtree. James said I'm not a real fan because real fans play it day one, even though I was in New York. Oh, and the cottage had no TV and no internet. My boys were like, I don't even. Thank God the cell towers reached there. That was actually a really good signal. I don't know what they would have done, but I was also glad. As much as I wanted Dallas to beat Boston, I was glad that the finals ended before we got there, because that was going to suck. Just pulling up Watch ESPN on my iPad and being like, okay, we're watching the finals. Yeah. And I don't know what the quality would have been. I did that for Game 7 of the NHL, though. Did you see how that ended? I wanted Edmonton to win because Florida beat my Rangers, but the freaking it's 2-1. Edmonton pulls the goalie. They get it. They get the puck into the Panthers' side of the ice. Can't get a shot. And then the puck kind of dribbles over into the corner. And one of the guys on Florida goes over, and he's just kind of sitting over it. And I don't know if he had his skate on it or what. But the last 20 seconds of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals was just them going in the corner. I'm like, blow the freaking whistle. Do a face-off. Like, let us have a chance at overtime.
Can you do that? I don't know.
Whatever he was doing, I guess, was legal. But that was annoying. So, yeah, I have not played Shadow of the Erdtree. I fired up Elden Ring before I left. Not very good. I've heard that Sean's been playing Shadow of the Erdtree. Did you beat it? You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Last night.
Talk to me. First, before I forget to say this, because I said I was playing, and that's what made me think of this. I've heard bleed builds are not good anymore. And that's what we had with the Rivers of Blood.
But okay. I changed mine before doing the DLC.
So you got used to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I switched to, once I saw the video on Twitter, the guy using this thing to kill all those sleeping dudes near Moog's Palace where you can level up. It's the Elden Beasts. It's the sword you get by trading in the Remembrance of the Elden Beast. Okay. I switched to that, which is like mostly a faith build, which I've never really used faith before. But you got to hit faith.
Is that a two-handed sword?
Only if you want it to be.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I don't think... Yeah, nothing has to be.
Okay.
I'm 99% sure you are not screwed, but you do need to, in New Game Plus, you can't just like warp to the DLC. You need to beat Moog.
I've beaten him.
In New Game Plus?
I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure this is my... Like I said, the whole map is open. Like, this is mine.
You have the map open. Do you have the graces all over the map?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then you may be all right.
I think I'm okay. But what else? I thought Moog was it.
I think you have to beat Moog, and I don't understand why, unless you just don't get the dialogue, the option, whatever. You also have to beat Radahn. But if you've beaten Moog...
that, but that's weird.
Yeah, I don't understand the connection.
Yeah.
But if you, yeah.
So how do you get into the DLC?
Do you remember the fight of Moog?
I remember he
what
was
it looks like.
Kind of, yeah. It was in the red. It was like okay.
In the back, there's like this egg cocoon looking thing with this long, skinny arm sticking out of it.
Yeah.
You basically just go up and like examine triangle, and then you get warped there.
Okay.
It's awesome. It is hard.
Mm-hmm. Now you did a lot of this before the latest patch, which I guess the patch I was reading is that what they did was
favors the earlier upgrades.
Yeah, the Skadoo tree, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Did you how leveled up did you get?
I got to, so I think you can get up to 20 with the Skadoo tree, and I think 10 maybe. It's a lot lower with the other one.
I didn't know there was 2.
There's 2, but the other one's kind of. So Skadoo tree is damage dealt and damage negated. Damage dealt goes up. Damage done goes down.
I know what damage taken. Yeah,
that's the one. The other one is, I think, your summons, like the ashes, and torrent.
Okay,
and I think there's kind of a reason for that.
Does he get new abilities or
no? I think he's just like his health goes up. So if you're fighting on horseback, he doesn't get. Oh
God! Don't tell me there's a horse.
So
no, there wouldn't be a horseback boss. Never mind.
So I think I got my Skadoo tree up to like 18, and the other one I think only at like 7 or 8, which I guess is most of the way there because I thought they both went to 20, but they don't. It's hard, but it's not like you have to have played Elden Ring and played it quite a bit to get to the DLC.
Right. And it's made for those kind of people.
Right. So the fact that people
I did this 2 years ago.
I think a lot of it is people thought they could get leveled up and destroy the DLC.
Right.
And they're like, we're taking that out.
Yeah. It's all based on the Skadoo tree stuff.
Yeah. So I don't think it's unfair any more so than the regular game is. Like, some of the bosses were tough.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bosses in the regular game are tough. Like, I didn't really find it that much more difficult than the standard game.
It seems like people are split. Like, some people are like, they're saying what you're saying. Like, if you just decided to just show back up for this.
Yeah, if you thought you were just going to be able to one-shot everything because you're level 500.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to be disappointed.
Like, it didn't matter that Gene Park said he was leveled up every 99 everything, level 713 or whatever. Didn't matter because they all scaled with him. It's all about the scattered, whatever they're called.
Yeah. I found the bosses in this to be better. I feel like the original game, a lot of the bosses, like Godric and Morgott. Who's the first guy?
Godric the Grafted. Isn't
before
it?
Him.
Oh, Margot Robbie, yeah.
Margit and Gilbert the Godfrey and like all these other people. I feel like you're just fighting big dudes, big meaty men. And they're just like, slap him in the mid.
Yeah, and it's like, how can you move like this?
And you can't even tell what they're doing. They're just doing cartwheels and flips and turns and stuff in the air, and then stuff blows out. And I feel like that's how a lot of the bosses in the base game were. I feel like there's not a lot of difference between a lot of them. I think there are 9-ish, I would say 8 to 10 true bosses in the DLC that give you a remembrance.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they did that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I would say they all stand on their own. Some of them frustrated the heck out of me, but in hindsight, I'm like, that was a cool fight.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When you fight Margit and Godfrey and all these people, I'm just like, those two might as well be the same fight. Like,
that's why I thought they. That's why.
And I'm just, and I feel that way about a lot of the bosses in the base game. Radon was definitely different. Renala was different.
The Mesmer boss owned me for 5 hours yesterday. Crazy fight.
Yeah. So Mesmer's
is he the last boss?
No, Mesmer's like the third.
Oh, that's right. That's where I've heard people say
boss.
That it like it's a big ramp up when you get to him.
So the second boss is the one that I told you. I'm like, this might as well be
Melania
again. And that maybe was my favorite fight. Like, in hindsight, that was a really cool fight, but I struggled with it. And then I got to Mesmer, and I had to just stop. That's when I was like, I need to look up a guide and just start making
Farming.
beeline for scattered tree fragments. I came back. One thing, I'm sure it's no different in this game than the base game or any other FromSoft game, but I definitely have a habit of ignoring defense.
Okay.
I got some talismans that are like, because Mesmer is fire. I got like fire defense talisman and new armor, and I did all this stuff to like go back into it with like a defensive mindset, and it made a huge difference. That and the scattered tree fragments. But I don't know. It's awesome. So part of the reason, so I looked last night after I was pretty sure I had done mostly everything. I'm sure there's some caves and catacombs and stuff like that I've missed. There's not that many though, but they're a lot bigger. I would guess there's maybe a dozen or so across the map, 12 to 15. And I probably found, I don't know, 8 to 10 of them. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but that sounds about right. So I'm sure I missed some of them, but I got all the main bosses, obviously all the main bosses, but like all the mandatory and optional, but like big bosses. Big boss. So I just looked up a list. I'm like, yep. Okay, I think I'm done. So I went ahead and
wait a minute. Is Mikella the final boss or whatever the name is?
No,
she's dead, right?
I still have no idea.
Yeah, I don't even know who's because
I have no idea. The whole Elden Ring.
Wasn't it the Melania had the blade of Mikella, or she turns into the blade of Mikella in her second form, or something like that?
I don't even remember. Maybe. All I know is it's another M word.
In
America.
DLC?
America is like
America? Seriously? That's awesome.
Like when you have like the stake of America.
Oh,
Marika, I think.
Yeah.
Marika, I don't know. She's like the god. Like she's like, if you looked at a family tree, she's at the top.
That's the thing at the end when you fight the second to final boss?
Is that Radagon? I think that's
Radagon's
Radagon.
the boss, but isn't there a thing sitting there? Isn't that something?
Oh, well, the Stake of America are all over. They're the ones that, like, if you die, it's like, do you want to go back to the last grace or go to the Stake of America?
It shows up like, oh.
But I think Radagon and America are, like, the same person.
Okay.
Even though he's a guy and she's a girl. I think they're one. I don't know. But, like, I have no idea. I might be talking out of my butt right now. But anyways, yeah, I looked and I had beaten all the bosses, so I was ready to... I started New Game Plus mainly because now I'm at the same level as you, and I'm kind of making a beeline to get back to the DLC in New Game Plus so we can co-op if you need it.
Oh, okay. Wait. So if
assuming you're only on New Game Plus 1, if you're on Plus 2.
I'm on Plus 1.
Okay, good.
Because that's all. Because I saved scummed it to get the 2 endings at the end of New Game Plus 1. What were you saying right before that?
America.
Damn
it. The family tree. Who I don't know who is who.
No. I don't know. It's probably.
Anyways, yeah, I beat all the bosses.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. After you beat the final boss,
nothing happens. Nothing.
There's no ending?
No, but it's also.
Is there some?
It kind of makes sense because it's just a DLC.
Oh yeah, that's true. You don't.
And so,
you have to beat the Elden Beast. Yeah,
right. So even if you did like Bloodborne, which I never did the DLC, but like I've done the DLC and some of the other like Dark Souls 3. It's just, hey, you can go to this area now, and then you finish it. I'm like, okay, well, back to the main game. Like to 99% of the people playing this, yeah, they're probably just doing it after they've long since beaten the game. It's like, hey, here's something else to do. So it seems like you should get credits because, but it's not. It's kind of just in the middle of it. So it is kind of weird. But like I beat the final boss, and then I'm like, is there somebody here that I'm supposed to talk to like trigger something? And I looked it up, and they're like, no, nothing happens. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like a new grace point shows up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, okay.
Steve says, are there any other, major difficulty spikes?
The final boss sucks.
This is what I've heard.
I had to look up cheese, and I had to respec, go with a different build, and it took me probably a dozen tries of doing the cheese.
The right thing, yeah.
And it's basically, there's a shield. Well, I think any shield will do.
But there's
there's a weapon, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's only certain shields. Maybe it's this one specific one. But you can get a shield, which I never use in this game.
No, me neither.
And with a specific sword, or at least a specific class of sword, you can hold L1 to keep your shield up, and you can poke without putting your shield down. And shields, the same thing I was talking about, defense and all that, like, shields make a huge difference. And so the cheese is, you just, with the right talismans equipped, you can kind of hold your thing up, and the boss will do damage, but as long as you block it all and you've got a good amount of stamina, like, you can survive. But it's still a matter of, okay, he's taking a break, I can put my shield down to get my stamina back up so I'm ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
But you basically get a weapon that does Scarlet Rot, and you can use an Ash of War thing to have it also have bleed. So after so many stabs, he loses a bunch of health. And that's the only way I was able to beat him. Like, I can't imagine. I'm sure people are way, way, way better at this game than I am, but like, I cannot imagine. This guy's insane. I don't know if it's harder than Melania, but like, it seemed more unpredictable. Or Melania, I feel like she was kind of hard to hit because she's fast. This guy, it's like you don't get a chance to attack. Melania is like, here's my chance. I'm going to go get her. And then she's like, and then she's over there.
Right.
I'm like, ugh. And then she did
a
crazy combo.
You can usually tell
like,
when her moves are coming. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know that he's maybe harder than Melania, but it's definitely just a different fight altogether. I think the other thing about this game is you can't, whether it's before or during, you cannot over level. In the base game, you can just grind and grind and grind and get as strong as you want to be.
That's how I got the platinum.
In this, it's like, no, you're capped how strong you can get.
Yeah.
And even at your strongest, you're not, you still got some work to do.
Do you get regular souls and stuff too, even though it doesn't make a difference? Okay.
But leveling up, yeah. I mean, it's almost more just for, I don't know. I mean, getting yourself extra health is nice and extra stamina, but like, you're not really going to do much more damage based on leveling up. But I don't know. I loved it. I don't think it's my game of the year.
I was going to ask.
But it might be. I would have a hard time saying Rebirth is not my game of the year, I think, when all is said and done. But this is a very close number 2. Like, I loved it. The world, I mean, it's just like, it's like Elden Ring 2. It's like you've got this whole new world to explore. And the only thing I will say, and I've heard this a lot, but a lot of people talk about it positively, and I'm not sure where I fall on it. In the first one, if you're like, hey, I haven't been over there yet, I've got a grace thing here, I'm going to warp there, and then I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And in this map, it's like,
oh, I did hear it's very vertical.
So vertical.
Okay.
And it's like, you're looking down. If you're like, here's the map, you can go down here. You can go under there. But you're not going to see any of that on the map. You see the top level.
Oh, yeah. It's just like a piece of paper.
Right. And so you don't even know. Maybe there's like an opening here to get to this big open field that's under the table that you don't even know is there. And you won't even know that the opening is there. And it's like, how do I get there? Like, you'll look at the map and be like, I want to go there. And then you get there. And it's either, oh, it's way up on top of a cliff or way down there. I'm like, how do I get there? So it's, and that's part of the fun, I guess, is exploring and just trying to find how you get to the different places on the map. It's definitely not nearly as big a map, but it's still pretty big. And they make you work to get everywhere. It's not like... Do you
know how many hours you put into it?
I started it right at 99 hours.
I'm at 102, so that's funny.
And I think when I started New Game Plus, because just in case, I backed up my game to the cloud before I started New Game Plus, just in case I want to go back. And I think I saw I was at like 126 or so. So it was about 25 to 30-ish, somewhere in there.
What did I say I was? Like 173 or something like that?
Your level?
Yeah.
I think you might have been higher than that. I got up to
I think it was like 195
210 or so.
Okay.
But I went back and leveled up at Moog's Palace or whatever maybe 10 levels or so at one point. Just, I don't know if that was when I was respecking.
So wait, did you use that sword in the DLC or just to make the grinding for
I
New
used
Game
it
Plus?
for most of it.
Okay.
No, I kept that same build through most of it. And then I got another sword. I mean, I had it, but I never used it. Blasphemous sword, I think it's called.
Well,
and what's nice about that is it's got a cool sword, like special move thing. It like shoots this big flame wave. But it also, like, every enemy you kill, you get a little bit of health back. So it's like, if you get damaged, you don't have to like use one of your potion things. You just keep going. You'll probably kill a bunch of enemies. The game is littered with enemies that you can usually one-hit kill.
Okay,
like,
cool.
There's a lot of basic enemies. There's a lot of tough enemies, but there's a lot of basic enemies. So you can like kill them, boop, 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 and your health gets full. So I like that one, but it's the same kind of build between the two swords. So I flip back and forth. But for the end, I went to like a pure like strength build, so I could use like the sword or the shield, and so I loved it. It frustrated the heck out of me at moments, but like it's so much fun.
Mogments. So you got to that's what you were saying. So you got to like what, 20 around 30 hours or something, you think?
25 to 30, somewhere around there. Okay. Yeah,
that's what most people have said it is. Oh, did you do because it's been so long since I've played Mimic? Is it good still?
I used it a lot, but there were some fights where I'm like, I feel like a lot of the bosses in this, it's like you go through the yellow fog and then they're just like on you.
Oh my god!
And so you go ding ding ding, and with Mimic Tier, it uses your health. And there's a lot of times where it's like, by the time I ring the bell and I'm trying to heal to get that health back, the dude's like already on top of me. So there were some fights I'm like, I don't have a chance to summon him and then heal afterwards to get the health back that it cost me to summon him.
It does? Yeah. I don't remember that.
Most of them just do FP, but Mimic Tier uses your health.
Oh, okay.
And there's some bosses where it's like, I'd rather he just focus on me
than not even get to start the fight.
Then go back and forth and never know what he's going to do. And like, I don't know if they've like nerfed Mimic Tier, but like, there are so many times where I'm like, can you do something? I'm like running away from the guy. I'm like, can you attack him so he looks at you so I have a chance to heal? And so I used him a lot, but I don't know how much good it really did.
Yeah.
But yeah. You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll hate it.
Love it.
But like, there were times where I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I got so mad.
Did you call in other people at all?
Yeah, but it never. I don't know that I ever beat a boss with somebody's help, because you at least. I don't know if it doubles the boss's health, but it increases the boss's health by a lot. And I'm like, they were usually dying before I am anyway. I'm like, I don't know if I keep summoning people that suck, but like, it was not doing me any good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those games where like, no matter how frustrated I would get, inevitably, a few hours later or the next morning or whatever, I'm like,
oh, I got it.
I want to go back. Like, okay, if I can't beat him, I haven't been over there. Maybe I can explore over there. Oh yeah, I never finished this area. I can go back. And I'm like planning out in my head where I want to do and what I want to focus, like leveling up, or all this kind of stuff.
So it's like you went 2 years back in time, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so much fun. It's frustrating, but I don't think it's any more frustrating than it should be. Like, you get what you would expect out of this game.
Yeah.
And people that are upset that it's too hard, I don't know. You've never played a FromSoft game, apparently. I don't know.
But also, I don't understand how you're even playing it.
Right. If you were good enough to get that far,
yeah,
there's no way to just warp to it and be under-prepared.
Right.
So, I don't know. And maybe the big thing, maybe a lot of people, maybe the people that are complaining are the ones that would just do a bunch of crazy leveling up to get over leveled to compensate for, and you can't do that in this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I can't wait to get to it. Hopefully I'll get to start it tomorrow. I won't. It's the fireworks, so I won't get to start it tomorrow. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'll figure something out, but yeah. Gosh, sorry. Okay. What have I been playing? Again. Oh, yeah. So it's at a 95 on Metacritic. It is the highest rated DLC of all time. Crazy.
I mean, I believe it. It should be.
Before it came out, while we were gone, Elden Ring, it was announced that it sold 25 million copies. Also, in the first week, Shadow of the Erdtree sold 5 million.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's $200 million in revenue. Just bam.
Yeah.
Crazy. So yeah, I was in a house with no Wi-Fi and no TV, but I did bring my Switch with me. And after our last talk about Thousand Year Door, I decided to get the Switch, the expansion pass for Switch Online, so I can play Genesis, N64. What are you laughing at?
I'm just catching up on the chat, and I see James saying, I never beat Gilbert Gottfried.
Genesis, N64, GBA. And I played a little bit of Genesis here and there. I went back and played a little bit of SNES. I was mad because I thought all that you had to do, because you have to check in like you have to be online at some point every 24 hours or something, I think, or once a week or something like that, so that it'll let you play if you're not with Wi-Fi. So I get on the plane and I'm playing GBA for a while, and then I'm like, I'm going to close this for now. Go play Super Nintendo. Nope, because I didn't open the Super Nintendo app while I was connected to the internet. It's like, sorry, you can't play this right now.
It seems like your Switch would just know you're online, so it should be able to tell that you've got an
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
That's weird.
So before I got on the plane to come back, I was like, okay.
Open
Genesis,
open.
Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, who knows, N64. I did all of them just to make sure that I was checked in and I was good to go. Mostly what I played was Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. And I love this game. I don't even know who I am anymore. And it's like dun, 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 dun,
I like when they talk and
and then whenever somebody says something they don't expect, they just go and whenever they're saying yes to somebody, they just go brown, brown. They jump twice. Like, I get it that you can't like talk, but then it's like when you switch their power ups and stuff, or their brother powers or whatever, for when you're walking around the world, it'll be like hammer, jump, high jump, and it's just like in their voices. It's just so good. If you make it the primary Switch console, you won't have to check in every 24 hours. Well, I've only got one Switch console.
Yeah, that's weird.
Stupid thing. I haven't beaten it yet. I think I'm near the end. I got the Beanstar pieces. I'll say that. So it seems like I'm ready to go on the final quest. I've played it for like 15, 16 hours. So this, for being a GBA game, this is a pretty sizable RPG.
Wow.
But I love it. I love the music. That
Were there any others on GBA,
good.
or was that the only one? Everything else is DS, 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's just because we're in the Truman Show, we'll talk about something here in a minute. But I freaking love it. It's so good. I can't believe there's no style or anything like that. But I like how you've got the brother attacks. You know, I like how Mario is always A, Luigi's B, or if you're out in the world, it's whoever is in the front is A or B, whatever. But like when it's the enemy's turn to attack, there's two of you, and it's all kind of real time. So it's like if they throw like a spiny at you, you don't know if it's going to go towards Mario or Luigi, and you got to react. So every time they do something, I'm just pushing both buttons to either hold them, because you can hold them. It'll let you know, because you can see up in the corner if you're going to be able to jump with those buttons, or if you're going to do your hammer to deflect.
Yeah.
So if they're coming up to melee you, it's going to show the hammer. So if I don't know who he's going towards, I go, when I think he's about to attack, I'm like, okay, now I can start I can hold A and B. Okay. Or I jump with A and B a lot of the times. It's so good. It's beautiful. I love the pixel art on the GBA. It's so freaking good. Especially playing it in handheld mode. Playing it on the big screen was definitely a little weird. So I love that. I also checked out, I did start Metroid Zero Mission, and I didn't get very far. I got about to where I was when I played it when I started on.
Oh, so you had played
Pi.
before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got through the first snake thing, and then I got to the next snake fight, and I was like, the plane was about to land and stuff. I was like, I'm good for now. One thing I didn't know, I forgot that holding L just makes you angle. I thought it made you stay put so you can. but you can't stay put.
Okay.
You can do the angle, and then you can just fire to stay put, but you can't aim it.
Oh, yeah, you don't have...
Yeah. So that was cool. I played a little bit of Minish Cap. Didn't do much with it. Because it takes a while to get started. Probably, not a while, but when you're on an airplane and you're pressed for time, it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes before Vati even shows up, you know?
No goat herding.
No goat herding. It's not 4 hours of goat herding, at least. And then I pulled up Genesis a couple times, and twice I tried to start Landstalker, which is made by Treasure, who did Gunstar Heroes. Landstalker, as far as I know, is some kind of Zelda-ish game. I think maybe it's played on like a angled plane, whatever.
I feel like I've looked this game up before.
Twice I tried to play it. Twice I couldn't get through because it's just there's an unskippable cutscene to start, and it's like just this guy's face, and he's like, "I will have my revenge." Super slow text, can't fast forward anything, and it's so annoying.
Oh yeah, I have looked this up before.
Yeah, so it is the isometric. That's what I was trying to say. But I don't know if it's more RPG or more Zelda. Like, is it action, or is it real?
You have hearts, so I would guess it's more.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Zelda. I haven't seen.
I guess it's got a lot of puzzles. But yeah, I had a couple times where I tried to do that, and then I changed my mind. Got the coffee, changed my mind. But I think that's pretty much
Oh yeah, it's
for me.
Zelda. Well, he was just attacking.
Okay.
Doesn't look very good, but
That guy just turned into a regular guy. So yeah, that's all I've played. I do want to finish Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Kind of want to play some of the other games now, which is kind of a good segue. There wasn't a lot of news. We haven't been here for 3 weeks. There's really only one thing I want to talk about in the news. So we're not going to do the... I want to talk about Nintendo's Direct. I'm not going to go through everything because I think this Direct was pretty damn good.
And where had you where were you? Because I know you weren't watching this live.
I didn't watch it live. I watched it later that day.
You hadn't left yet.
I was mostly packing. Wednesday. This was Tuesday. We left Wednesday.
Okay.
To drive to Nashville. Overall, I thought it was really good. I wrote down what I think were the highlights. I'm guessing you probably agree with most of these.
Yeah.
Because we have very similar tastes. I read something in the pros of text. So I thought this was really good, but there was also a lot of stuff I did not care one little bit about, you know.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was very good. What did you think?
I mean, yeah, it was fantastic. It just makes me even more upset that Sony can't get it together.
Well, you saw the picture I sent, right, of the three dragons. That's Sony.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing, guys? Obviously, they're going to have a showcase at some point. I think this year, because nothing else is happening this year except Concord. Astrobot, sorry. But, you got to tell us what's next.
Right.
Show Wolverine. We know it's coming. Show us Venom. We know it's coming. I hope there's more than just Marvel stuff as I say that. But we'll talk about Marvel here in a second as well. They kicked off the freaking show, and I didn't know it was a Mario and Luigi game until they said it was. Because I think they're running around and stuff, and then it's like Mario and Luigi, brothership, or something. And I was like, I texted Sean when I was finally watching. I was like, are you freaking kidding me with this Truman Show stuff?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I literally just started playing Superstar Saga, and we're getting a new Mario and Luigi game. So what I wrote down here, it takes place in and it's out November 7th. Happy birthday to me. Mine's the 5th. It takes place in a new land called Concord. Huh. You travel on Ship-Shape Island, which is half ship, half island. I guess. Okay. Why is it ship-shape? Why isn't it just Ship Island? It's not half shape. It's half ship. Anyways, the islands. So basically, this is like your hub. This is like your home base, and then you go to different islands for the different worlds, and you shoot yourself in a cannon over there. They said there's familiar faces like Peach and Bowser. They may help. They may hinder you. the bro moves when you're walking around the world. They're there. You can see the
I
special.
hope Peach shows up and
things that they
hinders
can
your
do.
journey.
I would love it if she hindered my journey. That sounded so weird. And then the brothers' attacks are back. They're all different. To me, this was my game of the show. I think this art style is freaking beautiful. I don't even know what to call it. It's not Wind Waker. It's not cell shaded, but it kind of is. But then it also kind of looks
like the new version of cell shaded.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
like, isn't this what Dragon Quest XI looked like?
Yeah.
How it's like 2D,
Kinda, yeah.
and it's kind of like Genshin Impact and that kind of stuff, where it seems like they're 2D characters, but they're actually 3D. If that makes sense. The humor was there. It seems like there's a lot of platforming in this. Like the only platforming I've been doing, and again, this was a 20-year-old game on the GBA, but it's really just, oh, I can't jump over this ledge by myself. Hey, Luigi, jump on top of me, and then we both jump together. Like, that's it. This is like they're going boing, 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 boing.
I'm guessing that's more of just I'm guessing because I don't know, but like probably an incremental evolution from the last game.
Yeah.
I'm guessing each game probably went a little bit more in that direction. And this is where we've wound up. But yeah, going from the original to this one, it's a huge jump.
It's quite the jump. But yeah, this is my game of the show. Yes, my game of the show. What do you think? I think I said, what are you thinking?
I loved it. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I think because I already kind of had Mario and Luigi on the brain, I was like, wait a minute. And I couldn't, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, is this Mario and Luigi? I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely not the Paper Mario art style. It's definitely not just a new 3D game. Like,
yeah, it clearly wasn't Odyssey 2, but I was
think
like,
that was
I
the
don't know
first
what's
thing
happening.
in my mind. And then I'm like, what else could it be? And then I'm like, oh, no, this is definitely it.
Ooh, do I get credit for drafting a 3D Mario game that's not Odyssey? Okay. I just thought of that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I haven't played any of them besides the first one, and I played that.
Okay.
I think when it was new, and probably not since.
You still had the cart for it, right? When you let me borrow your Game Boy Advance one time?
I think so.
I think.
I don't know where it is now.
Well,
but,
yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. Probably my game of the show, too.
And it's out this year. It's out in November.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of games that are announced for this year. There's also a lot of games that are coming next year, which is so interesting. I can't wait to see how this all plays out. The next thing I have here, not a big one, but I have fun with this. The only problem is my right Joy-Con now has drift. So I got to get rid of that and put another right one. Try another right one because I'm like in the main, on like the main screen. It's not just the left stick that navigates the menu. It doesn't matter because all I've been playing is GBA and there's no right stick on the GBA. But if I go to like the main screen, it's like, and I put it back up. Like, are you kidding me? Trying to navigate the menus and connect to Wi-Fi and stuff, that was a lot of fun. Typing in a password when it's going. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Switch Sports is adding basketball as a free update. I never really got into basketball that much on Wii Sports.
I loved it.
Sean and you're Sean. Noah and Nick loved it. They would go one-on-one.
I probably played that more than anything else.
More than bowling and golf?
On resorts, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Noah and Nick would get so into it. They were like getting pissed at each other and wanting to fight and everything. It's crazy. So I'm happy that that's there and I'm happy it's a free update. Next up, I've got Donkey Kong Country Returns HD out January 16th. So we're getting into next year. This originally came out on the Wii in 2010. Is this really... So I put this in here more for you than me because I've only really played... I didn't get Donkey Kong Country 2. It just didn't click for me. I wasn't very good at it. The first one, I feel like I've played the first few levels a bajillion times. But this, I think a lot of people are happy. Now they're mad because it's $60.
Yeah.
I do think it should be 40. I think all these, if you port an old game, it should just be $40. I think that's what Super Mario U Deluxe was, but maybe not. Maybe it was 60. I don't know. But Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Are you in?
I don't know.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. In my mind, I liked it better than Frozen, whatever it's called.
Tropical Freeze.
Yeah, that one.
I almost said
even though
Tropical
people
Thunder.
seem to think Tropical Freeze was fantastic, and I thought it was fine. This game is not as good as Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay.
Probably better than 1 and 3, but I think 2 was like, I mean, like new Super Mario Brothers, U Deluxe, any of those. It's kind of like that compared to Mario World, or even Mario Wonder compared to Mario World. Like, all things considered, it's probably it's almost certainly a superior game. But I still like 2 better. I think 2, I don't know, 2 is maybe, I could maybe say it's the second best platformer of all time. Like, I would go Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 2, Mario 3 maybe. So I don't know.
Yeah.
$60, I'm like, I'm sure it's worth it.
But was it even $60 when it came out on Wii, or were those games 50? Is it? I mean, I know inflation and stuff,
question.
whatever.
Yeah,
but
it might have been 50.
I can't remember what Wii games cost.
I might get it. I mean,
I think our hopes of playing Resident Evil 9 right around there are
that's
pretty
the thing.
much out the window.
It's gonna come down to, is there anything else out around that time? And if not, and I'm just itching for something to play, I might pick it up. I mean, I'm trying to think. No, it's definitely 2-player. If either of us gets it, it could make for some fun Let's Plays.
Oh, yeah, because it's 2-player co-op at the same time, right? I think is what I heard them say.
I honestly don't remember. In the original ones, it was co-op, but you like tag the other one's just always following.
That's right. Okay.
And then I'd be like, I don't like this part, and you tag, and now all of a sudden the other person's in front and they're control. So it's co-op.
Gotcha.
Like simultaneous
okay,
co-op.
So maybe that's what it is, yeah.
But either way, it could be fun. I don't know. It'll depend on what else is out around then.
One of the things I noticed about this, comparing it to the original games on Super Nintendo did this a lot, where the sprites are gigantic.
Yeah, they take up most of the screen.
Whereas on this, I'm like, wow, they are.
It looks
tiny.
much more.
But it's you get to see so much. You get to see so much more of the world and everything, and see what you're doing. I like it better. It was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Next up, Dragon Quest III, the HD 2D remake, finally resurfaces, and it's out this year, November 14th. Also, they announced the much rumored but not confirmed until now, they're also remaking 1 and 2 in an HD 2D remake format. They're out next year. The director of it, or producer, somebody said that the reason they don't mind releasing them in this order is that the chronological order is to play these games is 3, 1, 2. It's like how Metal Gear Solid 3 came before Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. I'm on the fence. I don't know.
It looks cool.
I don't know that I'm this into RPG. Or you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
so I've only ever played newer Dragon Quest. I think I got 7 or 8, whatever Journey of the Cursed King or something
some
like that.
Some people have said that like 8 is one of the best RPGs of all time. So maybe it was that.
Whatever that one was, the Journey of the Cursed King. I think I got. I don't know if that was like around my birthday or Christmas or something. I'm like, I'm looking for a new game. Oh, this looks cool. It looks kind of like Final Fantasy. I'll pick it up, and I loved it. And then the only other one I've played was
8.
11.
There you go.
8. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, the only 2 that I've played are probably 2 of the best, probably top 10, maybe top 5, depending on who you ask. Like turn-based RPGs ever. I never got into these older ones. But again, I'm like, I'm tempted. I love the graphics. I love the style of it. I might pick it up. I don't know. Again, I think it's going to come down to what else is out around that time.
Well, Mario and Luigi comes out a week before it. I'm definitely playing Mario and Luigi over this.
Yeah.
Colin brought up a good point. Like, how much are they going to remake 1 and 2 next year? Because he said 1 and 2 were very rudimentary on the NES. 3 added a lot of stuff to it. I don't know if that was Super Nintendo or if that was still NES. I don't remember. But he's like, if they're just remaking these like 1-to-1, playing 3 with all this cool stuff and then playing 1 and 2 is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but I'm like, yeah, that could be interesting. So I don't know. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD got a new trailer. It's out now. 78 on Metacritic. I think Derek drafted that. The Nintendo bump that I always assumed was there is not there. Like, you drafted Princess Peach, I think.
Yeah.
For the
it was
Nintendo
like
bump.
High
It was like a
70s, low
76
80s,
or
something.
Yeah. So that's there. Switch Online, Expansion Pass. We kind of just talked about this a little bit, but GBA got Legend of Zelda 4 Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, and then they announced a new app called N64 Mature After Dark. You can play on this app Turok and Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark, why? Is there blood in this game?
I don't know.
GoldenEye isn't only on the Mature app. Like, what are we talking about? Nintendo getting a Nintendo. Next up, I will say, honestly, this was probably my number 2 game of the show. And I can't believe this is real. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch Maximilian Dew's reaction. This dude was actually randomly wearing a Marvel vs. Capcom shirt.
Really?
No one would think this would show up on a freaking Nintendo stream. But I had to copy and paste this because I couldn't remember what the whole damn name was. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection: Arcade Classics is coming out at some point this year. This includes X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which a lot of people say is the best fighting game ever made, and randomly, The Punisher. Somebody was saying, I heard today, I think it was on GameScoop, they were like, well, that was Capcom's first collaboration with them, so maybe that's why it's there. You remember, that came to Genesis. It was a very scaled down port of the arcade game, but it did. It never came to anything else.
I don't remember
which was just so random. It's coming out on Switch, obviously, because it was at the Direct. It's also coming out. I'm a bounce. I'll catch y'all later. Bye, James.
See ya.
Yes, it is. I don't know if you can hear them, but it's coming to PS4 and PC. It is skipping Xbox. Now,
That's strange.
This isn't something that Sony paid for or anything like that, because the Xbots are going to get mad. Max, I think, was saying something about how there's something about the way Xbox does something on their online back-end infrastructure doesn't work well with fighting games, I think. And he thinks maybe that's why they skipped it, but I don't know.
Weird.
I have been wanting to play. I've looked so many times on eBay. I've looked at Children of the Atom, and I'm like, do I want to buy this for my Saturn that's just sitting out there just so I have it and can play it? Because it's not in any of these other collections. I loved that game in the arcades so much. It's playable now. I was so excited just for that. I honestly have not played the MVC games very much. Have you?
I don't remember which ones I've played because it's weird. Like I remember there's X-Men versus Street Fighter, and then it's like
Marvel Superheroes.
Now it's Marvel versus Street Fighter, and then so now it's Marvel versus all of Capcom, and I'm like, I don't remember. Like I either was Ken, Ryu, Wolverine, Cyclops, or Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and I don't remember what games I played, but like I'm not playing as anybody else that's Capcom, but not Street Fighter. Like I'm just so I don't know. All of them kind of blend together for me.
I am getting this. I've already put it on my wish list. It's $50 or 40, I forget. Either way, I don't care. I'm so excited for this. Yeah, I don't even know how the tag, because I remember one time
we haven't done a Street Fighter tournament in a while.
We're streaming it that day. Now it's going to be hilarious because we're both going to suck. But we're definitely streaming this the day it comes out. Yeah, I don't know how the tag stuff even works. Like we went to some place when Allie was here last summer. We went to some it wasn't a go-kart place, but it was some kind of outdoor. Wait, did you go with us too? Outdoor go-karts, mud everywhere thing? Maybe it was just Allie and them. But inside they had a couple arcade games, and they had, I think it was just Marvel Superheroes. But I'm playing against the PC, and I won a couple of fights, but I've never bringing my partner in. I don't know how to do that. The computer keeps flipping and flopping back and forth. I'm like, I don't even know how to do this. And I didn't have time to Google it because I'm trying to play. So I don't even know how that stuff works, but I am so excited to get into these games 25 to 30 years late. Yeah. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Next up, a lot of people's game of the show was announced. And I have never watched a video game trailer and gone from 20 out of 10 excitement and then just dropping to honestly, a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom It's out September 26th. It's a new Zelda game. We finally play as Zelda. It's definitely more puzzle-based. Everything is around Zelda's wisdom power thing where she can duplicate items like da-na-na-na, table, da-na-na-na, moblin. She can't attack, but she can like duplicate moblins and stuff to do the attacking for her, I think. Also, they announced a new Switch Lite special edition coming. You said you so you watched Zeltic's video, which I still haven't had a chance to go back and watch, but I do want to, his analysis video, and you were kind of like, okay, maybe I'm on board. I haven't watched that yet, so...
I still don't feel great about it.
Okay.
I don't really feel that good about it. Like, at its core, it's still a Zelda game. And it seems like they're trying to kind of do Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, in 2D.
But in 2D.
Yeah.
But all you're doing is like stacking beds on top of each other to get up to a higher ledge that you couldn't reach otherwise. Like, you're not building planes and vehicles and like... So I get what they're trying to do. I don't know if I'm going to get this game.
Right now, I am.
If it reviews
out.
In like the 90s, like maybe, but like I can easily wait till my birthday, if not Christmas, if I even decide that I want this game. I would watch that video because watching the video, I'm like, okay, I have faith. Nintendo has won me back over with Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But now that I'm removed from that video and I'm thinking back, I'm like, why did that? Like, what did I see? What was it that made me start to be like, okay, this could be fun? I have no idea. Because right now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know that I really need to play this game. But
as of right now, I am completely out. I was so high because it was like, what is happening here? This is clearly the art style from Link's Awakening. Oh my God. First I saw Ganon and Link and I was like, oh my God, they're doing Link Between Worlds HD. Are you kidding me? It's actually going to happen. And then I was like, wait, no, it's not that. This art style. Oh my God, they're remaking Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. They're actually doing it. And then it was like, Link gets sucked into a portal. I'm like, wait. It was like right before that you texted me, just wait.
Oh yeah, because I thought it was because we were talking about it. I'm like, are they doing Link Between Worlds?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is something new. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just a new 2D Zelda game.
Are you kidding me?
Which I would be more excited for. Like, I would love Link Between Worlds. I would love Ages, Seasons, whatever. But then I'm like, oh my God, it's just a new game.
With Link.
And then, like, I don't care. Like, I have no problem playing as Zelda. Just play as Zelda and have a wand, like,
Amen.
Shoot magic beams out or something. Like, still just be able to attack. And I would be over the moon excited for it.
This seems like it's just so puzzle focused. Like, I have wanted to play as Zelda in a game, but the Zelda I wanted to play as was like badass chic Ocarina of Time Zelda, or even Zelda in the last two games where she's got some agency and she's got her crazy powers and stuff. Like, there's so much they could do with it. I would have never in a million years come up with this idea.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying I'm out on a Zelda game, but I am right now completely out on this game. We'll see. Lego Horizon was there. I just wrote that down because this is so freaking weird, just seeing Horizon. It's weird. It was weird when they announced it was coming to Switch. It's way weirder when they show it at a Switch. They show Horizon Zero Dawn on a Switch stream. It's just weird. Stray is coming out this holiday. Oh, also, yeah, Lego Horizon. Remember we were so worried, like, why are they remaking Horizon Zero Dawn? This is that. I talk about it later in the wrap-up. This is the remake. They're remaking Horizon Zero Dawn's story and making it age-appropriate for kids. This is the remake. We're not just getting a remake on PS5 where they just up-res it a little bit.
You think?
That's what a lot of people are saying, yeah.
Okay, so it is a retelling of the first game in Lego form. It's not like a new
changes to the story, but it's overall
to make it more. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Stray's coming out on Switch this holiday, and I just wrote down this looks rough. Like, I loved that game. No, I didn't. I liked that game. Wait, did you get the platinum? I never went back and got it. Or did I? No, I think I got the platinum.
I think
know
if you did, but I did.
I don't know.
Did you ever get Kenna?
Shut up, jackass. You scratched your chin so you could hide your smile. I know what you're doing. And then they ended the conference. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Coming out next year. We assume on Super Switch and Switch. Sean, Metroid Prime 4. This is the first time we've seen anything, because the only thing we saw before was in 2017, and it was a logo. And then they rebooted it in 19. We've seen nothing since. So it's been 7 years since they announced this game. This is like Bethesda levels of ridiculousness. Metroid Prime 4 is here. We see some cinematics. We see some gameplay. What did you think?
I'm at least hopeful that this game is actually... I mean, it's clearly coming out. Yeah. But like for a while, I'm like, I don't know.
It could be vaporware, yeah.
It's hilarious that we're probably going to get Metroid Prime 4 before we get Silksong.
I hate you. No, it was my first pick. I have to get it this year, or my draft goes down the toilet.
I don't know. I hope... I don't know. Part of me is like, I hope it's not also on Switch, but Prime looked beautiful. This game doesn't need to look any better. I mean, the remake.
The remake, yeah.
It doesn't need to look any better than that. It doesn't really need to be any bigger than that, and it can still be a really good game. So, and I'm not sure that I want to get a Super Switch, Switch 2, Switch U, whatever. So, I don't know. Maybe I do hope it comes out on regular Switch so I can play it without having to get the new Switch, which I don't know that I want. But it looks like Metroid Prime 4 should. They're not switching it up and pulling a
Zelda
Echoes of Wisdom on us, and it's like, here's Prime 4, but guess what? Now you play as a space pirate, and you just, it's Metroid Prime 4. It's what it should be. So, I don't know. It looks good. I'm happy it's finally coming. I'm
excited for it, but there was something about it that was just lacking to me. I don't know if it was the trailer. I don't know if it was because it just looked like, this looks like Prime Remastered.
Well, and it had been long enough since I've played Prime 2 or 3 that at first I'm like, is this a remaster? Is this Prime 4? I'm like, I don't really know what I'm even looking at until it said Prime 4. I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. But I'm like, this might be Prime 2 remaster?
Yeah.
Which would have been good for my draft.
But it wouldn't make sense to
Or not my draft. I don't know. Did I draft that, or did I just predict it for...
No, you drafted it.
I did draft it?
Yeah. You didn't predict it, but you drafted it.
Yeah.
Or no, you did predict it.
Maybe I did
you
predict
drafted
it.
Also.
I can't remember if I think I did.
I think you did.
It.
I think you did both. That's probably why you predicted it. It's just something... It's not like it looked bad, but it's just something about it just didn't hook me for some reason. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure I'll buy it and play it when it comes out. But it didn't hit for me like I think it hit for a lot of people. Overall, still a great show. This has to be the last Direct we get before the reveal of the Switch 2, right? They've said it's coming out by March. It's coming out next March.
It's got to be, yeah.
We're now 8 months away from that. They've announced all these games through the rest of this year and into next year. There's really nothing else they can show. This was basically... what we thought it was going to be. This was their E3 showcase, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
And it was awesome for it. Also, Nintendo came out this week. They've announced that they are trying their goal, and they're saying they can do it because there's no longer semiconductor shortages. They're going to make enough Switches to meet demand. They want to say F you to the scalpers. Because the last time there was a semiconductor shortage back in 2017, or I guess 2016, when they were making them at first. So they couldn't get enough out. Blah, blah, blah. You know the history. They're going to make enough to meet demand. I just want to know what the hell the thing is.
Was it the Switch that you ended up with 2 of and you tried to sell and you probably lost money on it?
I didn't lose money, but I think I made $15 or something. I sold it on eBay for $400. I bought it for $300, but that didn't count tax. So with tax, it was $330.
And you paid for shipping.
And then eBay takes 7%, and I had to pay like $25 in shipping because I offered free shipping on the sale. I was like, well, this is the last time I'm ever trying to. This is what I get for trying to scalp a console. You did it the smart way and just sold it to somebody in Memphis. You could have got killed. That wouldn't.
I don't even remember. Did I do that?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. So you made $100. Well, 70, give or take. I made like 10 or 15.
I don't even remember that.
Just a quick update here on our predictions results. Sean, like I said, he did predict Metroid Prime 2 Remastered was coming out this year. I think we can mark that as not happening now. Sean's still hanging on to a couple. He still has out there the Plucky Squire, something with that, and a demo's out. Dragon Quest 12 announcement reveals something, and a new 2D Castlevania. I don't think he's getting any of them, but until September 21st, we have to keep them open. Me, on the other hand, I am done. My last prediction is now gone. A Link Between Worlds HD being announced. It's over. So I end my predictions with 0.5. 1, 2, 3. What's 3 plus a half?
3.5.
No, I meant 3/4 plus a half. 7/8?
What's
1 and
3 plus a half?
I don't know. I'm in the lead with whatever I've got. 1.0, 1.5, or 1.3, something like that, with what I got right. So yeah, I'm probably going to win because there's no way Sean's things are happening, but we'll keep it open until it's time. And it's also time for the wrap up. Sean, let's fly through all these. We've been going a while. Hour and a half. We got a bonus episode to do. Astro Brat previews are out along with hands-on. What? Did I say brat? Like Astro Bratwurst. It's primed to be a big hit. Somebody said. They also said it feels like a 3D Mario game, which is a pretty damn high compliment you can pay. It has tight responsive controls. There are difficulty modes in the game from easy up to hard. You can hover over a planet, which will show its difficulty level. You can also beat hard levels in the game, and they will unlock more hard levels. I think that's going to be the only difficulty we have with getting the platinum in this, is how hard these levels really are. Unless you have to beat this game on hard.
Right.
I don't think they would do that with this game, but you never know. Levels are a combination of platforming, combat, and there's a lot of interactive elements that have really cool looking physics. Exploration is very rewarding in the game. There's hidden collectibles, and Astro can now swim underwater to explore.
I don't like that.
Swimming? Why?
I just hate anytime you have to go in the water. I don't like it.
I like Horizon 2, Forbidden West. The first time I went under there, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And then I was like, swimming sucks.
It does.
They did announce there will be free post-launch DLC coming with new challenge levels. Also, I skipped all the info. There was a lot more info on like details on individual levels and boss fights and stuff, and I was like, nope, skipping right over that. We also got more details on Lego Horizon. It is being made in Unreal Engine 5. PS5 version will have fidelity and performance modes. They said it's around 8 hours long, and you can play it 2-player on. Oh, maybe this is what I was thinking of instead of Donkey Kong. You can play it co-op, either online or couch co-op. There is no cross-play though. Quote, this is what I was saying earlier. So it reshapes the story of 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn in ways that make it more appealing and appropriate for kids. So is this a remake? I think so. Hopefully it is, because don't waste time and money remaking a game that's just 7 years old. Yacht Club did a stream. Oh, we haven't talked about this yet, so I want to get your thoughts on this. So they showed Mina the Hollower again. Of course, there's no date because I drafted it. It's just coming soon. If coming soon doesn't mean this year, then they need a new definition of coming soon. Shovel Knight DX was revealed. I don't really understand this, but it seems like maybe it's only coming out to Steam. I don't know if more news has come out since then, but 20 playable characters. There's online multiplayer, and it's adding rewind and save states. I don't know if this... It seems like this is a separate game. Like, you don't get this with the Treasure Trove. But they've given us enough free stuff that yeah, I almost want to buy this just to support them.
Yeah.
But then they ended the stream with a brand new Shovel Knight announcement. No, an announcement that a brand new Shovel Knight is coming, and I wrote here, fucking finally. And then they said this. It's not just another sequel. It's a bold new adventure that will launch Shovel Knight into an entirely new dimension of gaming. So we're not getting 16-bit, we're getting 3D. I don't know how I feel about this. This is not what I wanted. I didn't want them this game to come out 10 years ago and we'd never get a sequel. And then when we finally get one 10 years later, it's a 3D platformer. I don't know.
I don't like that.
But that's what it's got to be, right, Raymond?
I mean, it was basically Mega Man. Mega Man didn't fare so well in 3D.
No.
I don't know what you can do. I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. I guess any kind of like Spyro or Banjo-Kazooie, Ratchet, like it could be fun, but like
all those things you just said, aren't they all projectile based though? I don't know about Banjo. I don't know anything about it.
Banjo,
but then never mind.
Not.
There's 3D Marios and stuff like that, but Mario's not meleeing except for 64, right? That's the only one he punches in, I think.
I don't know, but yeah,
I just wanted it to be 16-bit.
Right, just do Mega Man X of Shovel Knight.
Right.
That's all we needed. I'm still excited. It's something, but I just want it. Is there any way?
It's the dimension thing. That's why I was like, if they just said more
generation
bits or something, yeah, exactly.
Or something.
I was like, oh my god, what if they're making a 32-bit side scroller like Symphony of the Night? Can you imagine? Symphony of the Night is still one of the most beautiful games ever made.
Oh,
imagine,
yeah, if it was a Metroidvania
that
Shovel
would be
Knight,
freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did also say subtle clues about the game are hidden in the current Shovel Knight games. Capcom had a next stream where they talked about a bunch of crap like Resident Evil coming to iOS. Nobody cares. But they did finally confirm they are making, quote, a new Resident Evil. The director for RE7, I didn't write his name down because I don't think I could say it, is directing Resident Evil 9.
I like that.
The idea for the game, quote unquote, feels substantial.
I think I like that.
We got no more details yet.
I want this game to scare the crap out of me. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. This, he also said something in that stream that, like, when they were making 7 and they had the story for that and everything, they didn't really know where to go from there. Then they figured out the story, and I think it wasn't a big retcon. I think it all made complete, perfect sense. But they said once they figured that out, how to tie that to Village and how it ties together, which I'm not going to say here, obviously, that's where they got to, like, how they can end this trilogy. Something like that. I think
Village, across the board, is a better game than 7.
7 was more special.
But 7, yeah, like, just the setting, the whole atmosphere, the characters, just the title, see, like the Go Tell Aunt Rhody, like that. I don't know that will ever be topped from just a horror standpoint.
Like
that game scared the crap out of me. And 8, other than the baby part, wasn't really that scary, but it was just a fun.
Yeah,
it was just fun. Like, I loved it, but I hope 9 scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
But I feel like 7 had the perfect setting. I don't know how you top that. Like, we were on an island, which we still don't know, but like, that islands aren't scary. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
I do think, like, yeah, I don't think there's any way this is coming out in January now.
I don't think so.
I feel like they would have teased it or said the name or something. So I think this is a 2026 game, unfortunately. But also next year is completely packed, so whatever. Xbox Gaming, it's announced, is coming to Fire TV 6. Yay. We got some updates on Metal Gear Solid Delta. The legacy filter can be played with either retro controls or new controls. Originally, it sounded like they was just saying that you can only do the legacy filter, like the greenish filter, if you played with the old controls. Why are anybody going to even right?
Why is that an option?
If you played Metal Gear Solid 3, favorite game of all time, and then you played Metal Gear Solid 5, who is going to say, no, I want to play it like 3, then 5? You'd be insane.
Yeah.
Ow. Konami also showed there's a sepia filter and a retro filter. I'm like, I don't want to use any of these filters. I don't have a problem that the game isn't just puke green like every game was back then. I think it looks fantastic without the filters. We got our first look at the UI. And we get to see Naked Snake in the survival viewer.
Wait, what's the difference between legacy filter and retro filter?
Retro is super weird. I don't know why they even call it retro. It is like...
But legacy is like...
Legacy
looks
is what
like the
3D
original.
looked like with the new graphics.
Right.
Whereas retro is like... It's almost got a bluish, purplish hue to everything. It looks super weird. But we see the UI, so the life and the stamina are exactly the same. I freaking love it. We get to see Snake in the survival viewer. It's exactly the same. The only thing we didn't see is the cure menu. As much as I'm happy to say everything's exactly the same, I think we know now without knowing, but the cure menu is going to be the same.
Probably.
I didn't really mind it that much. It can get annoying to keep burning leeches off and stuff. But people that make it out like you can't even play the game because it's so annoying, it's a little much.
It was no worse than Ocarina and
Switching boots.
Yeah. Like, it's no worse than that.
Boot, scoot, and boogie. They also officially revealed the title screen, and it's the same. It's, oh my God. They're really... They are showing that they are... Hopefully it plays as well as it has looked. They're clearly showing they're putting so much thought and care into this remake. It's just got to play right. Like this should be a slam dunk over 90 on Metacritic. I just hope they don't screw it up. Producer Okamura says that Kojima and the original devs are credited in the game for their previous work. He also said in another interview that it would be a dream for Kojima to come back to Metal Gear so he could work with him. I don't think he's coming back. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillermo del Toro confirms that Assassin's Creed remakes are in the works. If you remember last year, there was a lot of rumors going around about a Black Flag remake being in development. If you did like the first Assassin's Creed, I get that. I don't know. Why would you start with a Black Flag remake? That needs it the least. It came out in 2013. You can play it on PS4. Like, I don't get it. Vampire Survivors, they announced that the PlayStation release is taking longer than they expected due to Sony's submission process challenges. So I don't think you're going to get your shadow drop. That's why I crossed
Probably
it off.
not.
Yeah. Discord voice chat is coming to PS5 in rolling updates now. I thought it was already there.
So did I.
But then when I think about it, I guess because the boys, when they're playing online now, they do usually get Discord, but then they've got like one ear on the game and one ear they've got their AirPod, or something. Concord's getting an open beta on July 18th through the 21st. If you pre-order the game, you can get an early access beta July 12th through the 14th. I'm so interested to see what people think about this. I might just for shits and giggles dive in.
I don't.
Oh my God, no,
think
I'm not.
Going to.
College Football 25 comes out on the 19th. Hell no, I'm not playing Concord when I can be playing college football. Never mind. Embracer has shut down Pieces Interactive. They were the developer of the Alone in the Dark remake. Whoops. The game was not very good. Did you draft that?
Yeah. I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
And then it was like a 60 or something.
Did you remember you drafted Alone in the Dark? PlayStation Portal got its first firmware update. It adds a battery percentage. I cannot believe that wasn't there from the beginning. This is Sony. It's like Sony and Nintendo do some of the dumbest things sometimes.
Yeah.
For such great companies, they do some of the stupidest things. You can now sign in. You get the sign in screen for public Wi-Fi. Like, if you go to a hotel or something, that crap.
Yeah.
And there's visual feedback for the touchpad area. Uncharted movie sequel is currently in development. Hooray.
Did you ever see the original?
Did you?
I did.
I haven't yet still.
It's fine.
Right. Street Fighter movie, which I forgot was actually coming, has revealed its logo, which is basically the 15th anniversary logo for Street Fighter, and it's out March 2026. Do you remember
I don't think I knew that this was happening.
When I heard
Do
it,
we
I was
know
like,
who's in it?
No, they haven't announced anything yet. We'll see. Blue Point announced that they are, quote, still working on an original title, end quote. I still don't think this is a brand new IP. I think this is an original title because they're not just remaking something. They're doing something like, I don't know if it's Bloodborne. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's a new IP. This is good news for us because we bought the stupid thing. Sony is reportedly making lots of cuts to VR development. Only 2 games are currently planned to come out from them on the PSVR 2, according to reports. Sea of Thieves from Xbox was the most downloaded game on PS5 in May. That is hilarious. Speaking of Resident Evil Village, it's now over 10 million copies sold, the fastest title in the series to hit the 10 million number. It's fantastic.
It's crazy that it took that long to get to 10 million. Like,
that's 3 years because it was 21. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Elden Ring just hit what, 25 million?
Yeah.
I would think Village would be a lot more
approachable,
accessible, than Elden Ring. But I mean, Elden Ring is one of my favorite games of all time. But like, it's just weird that like 10 million. I mean, that's a lot. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's weird that it took that long to get to 10 million.
Stellar Blade,
and that it's the fastest Resident Evil game to do it.
Stellar Blade hits 1 million copies sold. They did say they're looking at a PC version and a sequel, but they can't really comment on it due to, quote, contractual relationships, which basically means Sony will kill us if we say anything. Microsoft Flight Simulator, it was announced, has hit 15 million players. Doesn't really mean anything because it's on Game Pass. We don't know how many. It could have sold 500,000 copies. Nobody knows. Visions of Mana got a release date, August 29th. I am watching this very closely.
Awesome. Yeah.
If it comes out and it's like a 70, I'm going to be so pissed. Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered was announced after leaking this week, and it's out September 18th. Did you ever play Dead Rising?
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I'm going to get this. It's only $50, which I think is the right price, 40 or 50 for it, but a lot of people loved that first game. I never played it, so I don't know. We'll see.
I get all these zombie games, like
this is the
Dead
one
Rising, Dead Island. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one in the mall where there's like hordes of zombies.
Yeah.
Which could be pretty cool to see with new technology. We'll see. Frostpunk 2 finally has a release date. It's out September 20th. Epic Mickey Rebrushed is out September 24th. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, which somebody drafted. I didn't think it was actually going to come out, let alone come out this year, but it's out September 25th, and it finally got a trailer. I never played this. I don't think I'm going to play this.
No.
Sega announced that the new Crazy Taxi game they're making, for some reason, is going to be an open-world AAA MMO. Why? House of the Dead 2 remake has been ESRB rated. PlayStation Stars is coming back online in regional rollouts. I didn't even know that Stars was down. All I think of is Riley. Just that's all I see now. Did you even know this was down?
No.
I didn't know it was down until they told me it's coming back online. I was like, well, okay. Also, PS Plus announcements. July, the PS Plus essential games are Borderlands 3, NHL 24, and Stupid Among Us.
Is Among Us not free?
That's what I thought too. Apparently it's $5. So thanks, guys.
Wow.
PS Plus extra June games, as we had talk about this in July, are Monster Hunter Rise, Football Manager 24, that means soccer, Crusader Kings 3, Far Cry 4, Lego Hobbit, Lego Incredibles, and more. PS Plus Premium is getting Kayak VR Mirage, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I guess that's the name. That's actually the name. It's not like, just so you know, this is the original trilogy. Ghost Hunter and Daxter.
I see a lot of people excited about Daxter. I don't know what this game is.
I think it was a PSP game.
Yeah.
Where there's no Jack.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack. There's just Daxter. Daxter. I don't like it. I don't really care. I'm glad I didn't.
I like
have
that. I mean, I already have it, but I like that there's a VR game on there. It's like, can we maybe I mean, I don't have premium anyway, but like, you start putting VR games on there, I'll sign back up for premium. But
what I don't understand is this. We both bought Kayak VR.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell is Kayak VR Mirage?
That's what it's called.
Thank you.
That's what it's called.
Oh, that's the
what
original
we bought.
Title?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. It was a long one. Sorry we've been gone for a while. It's fun to get back and talk video games. Maybe we'll be back next week. Maybe there'll be something to talk about. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing. Forgot my line.